Hey everybody, I know you're thinking, really? How this class will change my life? That's a pretty big promise to start out with in a lecture. But to me, it was really important to let you think through the decision you've made to take this class. Making sure we're committing to the kind of outcomes that we're all seeking. We want a better life. We want satisfying employment. We want satisfying study. And these are really serious, life-changing decisions that we have to consider. So, without further ado, we're going to, again, go into some more research and really talk about how we got here and some of what we're facing at this point in our lives. So many books, courses, and workshops offer the same standard advice. Good career decisions are in everyone's best interest, and a one-size-fits-all advice is really too generic to meet everyone's needs. This class does not do that. This class offers best practices and research-based evidence on what's going on, but it tries to also offer a skill-driven experience and a customized career profile that you get to build as you discover your own abilities, strengths, challenges, and preferences and abilities. So that's why a customized approach to me is really the very best. Advice that works for one person will not always work for another. In fact, it may be completely wrong. That being said, best practices remain useful, but it all starts with an approach to you and how you see the world. So this is kind of that part in class where you say, hi, this is my name and this is why I'm here. Again, this is a very self-reflective class, so I just want to get that in your head, that you're going to be doing things that are very centered on you, and that connecting to other classmates in this class is actually very, very important. So why are you in this class today? What drove you to enroll in this class that probably had this funky title and you're like, well, I need an elective and that looks pretty good. Maybe I'll learn something useful to do with my major, or I just really need 3 more credits to graduate and this will do. Why did you end up here? I don't know specifically maybe why you chose it, but let's do something important together. You may have some of these kinds of fears in your mind, or comments or concerns when it comes to your own career. So some people might say, and I'm just starting from left to right, I've been out of the workforce for a while and I'm re-entering the job market. I lost my job and I need to find another one badly. I'm graduating soon and I'm looking for my first job. I'm tired of my current job. I really need something else. I've been working a while, but I want to put my degree to good use and make a better living. I just retired and I'm ready to start something new. Changes in my household are forcing me to work now, perhaps even 2 or more jobs. I love my major, but I have no idea on what to do with it. Or personal hardship is requiring me to reboot my life. So you may find some of yourself in some of these comments, that maybe that's why you are here. But again, we're driving further and further into our class purpose so that we can connect to the motivation we need to actually search through our own abilities and become more customized to our approach. Because just saying this looks like a good job might be a miserable job for you, and you're right back where you started from. It has to work for you on multiple levels and really work with you, with your strengths, with your abilities. 12, what is this magic number? 12 is the number of jobs a person has over their most of their work life. So the Bureau of Labor Statistics published a study that looked at the number of jobs a person held between ages 18 and 50, and it turns out that the average person has 12 jobs. And this is during a span of only 32 years of work, which means that the number is probably higher for a person's entire lifetime. And it's estimated that that would normally be about 17 jobs total if we looked at some pre-employment before 18 and even some employment prior to retirement. That's a lot of jobs. So, that says something about our market. It says something about ourselves. And it also makes us think about our journey. Jobs may come and jobs may go, but my career belongs to me. That's kind of the mantra for this class. Here's a question that I also want you to consider. Do you have too many job changes? So are you job hopping too much? Well, around 44% of managers will not hire a candidate that changes jobs too often. It looks risky, and it also may be reflective of poor work habits or disagreements or other things that are concerning to a hiring manager. The days of staying at one job for decades are actually sort of behind us. Today, 64% of job seekers agree that job hopping is beneficial to their careers. However, baby boomers, those born between 1957 and 1964, held an average of 12.3 jobs between the ages of 18 to 52. 75% of job seekers between ages 18 and 24 believe that job hopping is beneficial. So it's kind of a newer generation phenomenon. But meanwhile, 51% of job seekers 55 and older also view job hopping as valuable. Again, if you're wanting to do ultimate promotion. So job hopping in and of itself is not bad, but we have to be strategic with how we do it. And we have to make sure that if there are some unusual things going on in the resume, that we are honest about it and we can defend it strategically. So with job hopping, when we did research and talked to executives, the majority of executives polled said that holding 6 or more jobs within a 10-year span is really too much. However, 51% of CFOs in larger companies said that a history of frequent changes is not important if the candidate is the right fit. So again, it has to do with how you defend and articulate those job changes and what those job changes are. So let's talk about it. When job hopping hurts you most, okay? When people review you for a position, these are employer shortcuts for determining risky hires. And I can tell you from my experience, I've written job descriptions, I've trained hiring managers, I have advertised for jobs, I've interviewed candidates, I've read hundreds and hundreds of resumes over many, many, many years. These are kind of the shortcuts that we use. So number one, on the resume, your jobs don't have a pattern or direction. So what does this show? It shows inconsistency and ambivalence about your career. And that's not necessarily a trait that makes a good employee. If you have a lack of forward progression, this assumes opportunities like better pay, a better title, learning new skills, or supervision really did not come your way. And there must be some kind of gap in your abilities because of that. Or if you're changing jobs too frequently, this says that jobs really should be had for years instead of months. And multiple jobs for months at a time are kind of difficult to justify during interviews. And employers don't want to bother training you for the short term because you look like a flight risk. So again, think about what your job history and your resume is communicating about you, about your abilities, about your promotion criteria, about people, your commitment, your loyalty, and people investing in you. These are things you have to keep track of as you continue to go through your resume and your job materials in applications. Of course, life happens, right? So you're like, well, I can't predict, a bad economy or injury or illness or some of these kind of things. Around 46% of job seekers say they fear job hopping will be perceived as a flight risk. You might get laid off or a family matter could occur and you may need to leave a job after a short time. However, don't make it a habit. It's really hard to learn new skills and gain traction in a new job after only a few months. The whole onboarding period, which is basically the period between hire and kind of your first paycheck, which can be a matter of a couple weeks or even as long as a couple of months, that is just getting your feet underneath you, getting situated culturally, personally, logistically in a job, being able to be competent and useful in the first few weeks to few months. And that takes time. And if you're gone after that, what was all that for? As long as you're changing jobs for the right reasons and at the right time, you really shouldn't have any issues explaining these changes on your cover letters or resumes. And we're going to get more into this, some strategies in Module 2. So this is kind of where we're going next. It's time to individualize the career discovery process. Let's start with personality types. So again, customization is key. Let's get after your strengths, your abilities, and what you can offer as a person that's kind of hardwired in you, that brings forward talents that employers want. Okay? People have always longed to find work that is intrinsically satisfying and work that they are naturally designed to do. You're going to flourish, be successful, and be fulfilled and satisfied. That's our goal. That doesn't mean you can't do lots of different kinds of jobs. There are a lot of jobs out there that are going to meet those needs, but let's not waste time, money, energy, and stress in the wrong kinds of jobs. So again, this is kind of our launch pad and what we're going for in this course. So thank you, and I look forward to our continued journey together.